Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of the College of Education and Human Services. Graduates of the College of Arts and Sciences. The graduates of the College of Engineering Technology. The faculty representatives of Ferris State University. President and stage dignitaries. Please stand for the singing of our national anthem. Feel free to join soloist Rachel Schumann. Gentlemen, please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight over the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Good afternoon. Welcome to the commencement exercises of Ferris State University. We are delighted that you, the family and friends of our graduates, have come to witness this occasion, which celebrates their accomplishments. My name is Glenn Okonowski. I'm a faculty member in the College of Education and Human Services. Carrying the symbolic mace and representing the Academic Senate is Robert Fryer. Marshals representing the faculty members are Lisa Ng and Dale Scornia. Today's music is performed by the Brass Quintet from Mount Pleasant. The interpreter is Emily Baxter, and the ushers are members of the Ferris State University Student Alumni Gold Club. Please join me in thanking them for their assistance. Now allow me to present the stage dignitaries who will rise as they are introduced. Audience, please hold your applause until all have been recognized. Board of Trustees, Vice Chair, Sue-Ann L. Waltz from Big Rapids. President David L. Eisler. 2014 Distinguished Teachers Jennifer Johnson and Gary Huey. Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs Paul Blake. Academic Senate Vice President Charles Bacon. Director of Alumni Relations Jeremy J. Mishler. Vice President for Student Affairs Janine Ward Roof. Trustee Aaron R. Brown from East Lansing. Vice President for University Advancement and Marketing Shelley L. Armstrong. Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion David Pilgrim. Vice President and General Counsel Miles J. Postema. Vice President for Administration and Finance Jerry L. Scobie. College of Health Professions Dean Matthew O. Edianju. Extended and International Operations Dean Cheryl K. Clucci. Michigan College of Optometry Dean David A. Damari. College of Pharmacy Dean Stephen W. Durst. Library Dean Scott Garrison. College of Business Dean David M. Nickel. College of Engineering Technology Dean Larry L. Schult. College of Arts and Sciences Dean Rick S. Kurtz. College of Education and Human Services Dean Steve Reifert. Would you please join me in acknowledging them? Officially presiding over this commencement ceremony are members of the Board of Trustees of Ferris State University. Board Vice Chair Waltz now brings you the board's greetings.
Good afternoon and welcome to our commencement ceremony this afternoon. Ferris State University is one of Michigan's great public institutions of higher education. The Board of Trustees is comprised of citizens appointed by the governor with the advice and consent of the Senate of the Michigan Legislature. As mandated by the state of Michigan's Constitution, the board is charged with the responsibility of governing the university by setting policy that enhances not only the quality of education, but also the quality of life. Graduation epitomizes both. On behalf of the entire Board of Trustees, I extend best wishes to all of you being honored here today, and a special congratulations to the December class of 2014. Go Bulldogs!
Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Paul Blake, will introduce our speaker.
I am absolutely delighted to introduce Ferris State University's 2014 Distinguished Teacher Award winners, Professors Jennifer Johnson and Gary Huey. This award is in recognition of their teaching excellence, participation in professional development activities, interest in students outside the classroom, and dedication to the university community. Dr. Johnson earned her Bachelor of Arts from Carthage College, Master of Arts and Doctor of Philosophy from Arizona State University, and was awarded an Exceptional Merit Grant from the Ferris Foundation for the 2014-15 academic year. Dr. Huey earned his Bachelor of Science and Master of Arts from Bradley University, a master's degree from Illinois State University, and a PhD from Washington State University. Please welcome Drs. Johnson and Huey.
Well, good afternoon. Jennifer and I would like to thank the committee and our students who gave us the honor of naming us the Distinguished Teachers for this year. As such, we get to give the address for you folks today. Now, Jennifer and I are approaching this a little bit differently than what most people do because we're doing it together. We're doing it this way because our offices are just a few doors apart from one another, and we've been good friends for quite some time. So when we went through this process together and we found out we had won, we decided why not just give the speech together since we went through the process together. Now, did we cooperate completely? At the beginning, I think my competitive nature kind of got the better of me. I began to spread a rumor that the only reason that Jennifer got to the finalist category is she had been taking teaching-enhancing drugs. I demanded a drug test, but Dr. Fryer and the committee turned me down on that. Now, there was another rumor that was started as well, and this rumor regarded me and why I made it to the finalist list. And that rumor said I made it simply because of my boyish good looks and my animal magnetism. I don't find that funny at all. Well, anyhow, at least that rumor was true. To get started here, a drug-free Jennifer is now going to deliver.
You should know that Gary started that rumor as well. As we prepared for this speech, Gary and I found ourselves reflecting on the idea of becoming. And so we are going to share with you today our own stories of becoming, as well as stories of some other people that we've had the joy of watching over the years too. It seems like we spend a lot of our childhood thinking about what we want to become someday. We want to be teachers or doctors, superheroes, ninjas. We want to be old enough to drive. We want to be old enough to vote. We want to be old enough to drink. The truth is, when you really think about it, that our lives are really entirely about the process of becoming. The number of things that I've become in my life really boggles my mind. I became a drum major who led a marching band in the Kentucky Derby Parade. I became a college student of geography and mathematics, surprisingly enough, without any real idea of what I was going to be when I graduated. Sure enough, I became old enough to drink. That was fun. Until I became sick all over my roommate's dresser trying to get down out of the loft. Never again. I became a student ambassador and a tour guide at Carthage College. I also became an unofficial cheerleader for the college swim team because there was a cute boy named John on the team. I became a student of Bill Miller's. He was my geography professor and mentor. Bill is the one who observed me giving a class presentation one day, pulled me into his office afterwards and said, "Jennifer, you're meant to teach." At that point, I'd already decided I was going to graduate school, but I know the one thing that I didn't plan to become was a teacher. And the reason for that is that I had such a high esteem for the faculty who had led me down this path of higher education that I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think I would ever know enough. And then I accepted a teaching assistantship at Arizona State University that would pay for my master's degree if I taught. And so I became a teacher. Or maybe I just discovered what I was becoming all along. I became other things along the way as well. I became John's wife. All those swim meets paid off. I became a mother to Melanie and Hope. And I discovered that I could learn love more fiercely than I ever imagined possible. I became a birthday cake decorator, a Girl Scout leader, and a woman who can sense a fever with a kiss to the forehead. Sometimes in life, though, we become things that we don't intend, and that we might not become if we thought we had a choice.
Jennifer's absolutely correct, and I think my family and myself are perfect examples of trying to become one thing and then something happens and we become something else. I always wanted to be like my father, who was a K-12 teacher and a coach. And I thought I had achieved that when I got hired right out of college by my high school to be a history teacher. But then due to some health problems, I had to turn that down. And needless to say, I was very upset by that. But I decided to go back when I started feeling better to grad school, pick up a few classes and see what that could do for me. Well, while there, I met a brilliant professor, Leroy Ashby, and he convinced me that I needed to go on and get my PhD and become a university professor. And maybe even more importantly, I met a wonderful woman there in grad school, and I became a husband and a father of 5 amazing children. So that worked out very well for me. Now, my children, they've also kind of had a crooked path at times to becoming. And my oldest son, always interested in writing, he decided to go to Hollywood and become a screenwriter. And once there, he's become everything but a screenwriter. He became an actor. He is an on-screen music critic for VH1. He appeared as the host of a comedy web series called Yacht Rock, which was voted one of the 10 funniest web series of all time. And now he's working as a television editor. Still writing and still hoping to become that screenwriter someday. My oldest daughter, she went on a less than straight path herself. She got a master's degree in forensic psychology. She moved out to Hollywood, and there she became a threat assessment professional. She thought it was her dream job, but after 7 years, she discovered that that simply wasn't the case. So she came back to Ferris, she took a few classes, and now she works for a sales and marketing company. And sometimes, we achieve exactly what we set out to do, and then we find we really need something else, as she did. Now, my youngest daughter, she's a creative writing major, and she wanted to write children's books. When she went through college, she knew very little about computers. But once she hit the job market, she discovered she had to learn something real fast if she was going to get a job. Today, she works for an international furniture manufacturing company and spends her day in front of a computer screen as a web marketer. With her, I think it shows that sometimes we achieve exactly what we set out to do, and sometimes we don't. And with her, the opportunity that came to her had absolutely nothing to do with what she ever intended to do when she went to school. But I think she showed that we could make something out of opportunities that we never thought we were going to get. Now, my middle son, he was the shy one of the family. There are 5 of them. They're all pretty quiet, but he was by far the quietest. In his senior year in high school, his classmates voted him the shyest person in the class. And that was very true, I believe. Today he works for a food marketing company, and as part of his job, he has to make presentations to large groups. He's not that shy kid anymore. And then finally, my youngest son, he's gone on in an unexpected direction as well. While he graduated from in the top 15 of his high school class, he admitted he absolutely hated reading and writing. And when he went to college, though, he admitted in his first semester to me that he discovered that, you really have to read the material if you want to get a good grade. And my thoughts were, he's a professor's son. He should have known that. Maybe I let him down in some way. But today, he has a master's degree, and he's working on his PhD in history at Michigan State University. Who would have thought it? But I think, we never know where life is going to take us. My children are no different from those of you who are graduating today. Like my children, you have made plans, and like my kids, you will face challenges and offered up unexpected opportunities. And like them, you will adapt and you will become amazing.
Perhaps the most wonderful part of life is that we're never done becoming. On the day that I came to Ferris, I became a professor. After 22 and a half years of continuous education, here I was. On that day, I also became a future member of a dozen committees, an advisor to pre-pharmacy students, and I became Gary's colleague. And then I realized I wasn't done. I couldn't just become a professor, and that was it. On any day, in any semester, I might have students that needed very different needs, and I might have to develop different skills in order to meet those needs. I became, and this still gets me, a devoted advisor to a fraternity. God bless the gaps. Gary and I both have become mentors, and sometimes, because our professions are somewhat related between geography and history, we have the pleasure of mentoring students together. We have had the joy of watching our student, Christy, who is a history education major, find a true passion for history with a little geography thrown in. And now we are watching her on the road to becoming a teacher and finding her own passion in the classroom. We had another mutual student named Steve, who we also mentored through teaching and writing lesson plans. Steve has an education degree now, a master's in education, and I might admit that the day he became a national park ranger, I screamed my head off because I think that's more geography than history. I win, no. And then there's my student research assistant, Cameron, who tells me he's going to graduate school in geography. And he says, I'm not going to teach, I'm just going to research. And I think, but Cameron, maybe, just maybe, you're meant to teach. I can't wait to see what he becomes. Here we go.
Well, Jennifer and I would like to leave all of you graduates with a challenge. And it comes from a YouTube video that a colleague of mine, Barry Mailer, showed to me. And it concerns a young teacher, a guy by the name of Taylor Malley. And he was talking about a party that he had been to. And one of the guests began to make fun of teachers, saying the only reason they teach is because they can't do anything else. And by implication, that's kind of the way they were paid as well. And he eventually asked Taylor, he said, Taylor, be honest. Tell me what you make. Taylor said, he responded, I make a difference. I make children work harder than they ever thought they could. I make children write, read, question, criticize, and wonder. I make parents love their children for who they are and what they can be. I make a difference. How about you? And that is our question and our challenge to the graduates today. How about you? On your journey of becoming whatever it is you're going to become, please become a difference maker as well.
Today, you become a graduate of Ferris State University. We and your other faculty have been so incredibly honored to be a part of your journey to this day. Know that you have helped us to become better teachers, better mentors, and better people. If you haven't realized it yet, what we've really become are your biggest fans. We wish you joy in your journey. We wish you grace and strength when joy is absent. And above all, we wish for you that you will never be done becoming. Thank you.
Ferris State University President David L. Eisler.
Today's another commencement for a very special person on our dais. Today is Trustee Sue Ann Walt's final commencement with us. Sue Ann has been a lifelong resident of Big Rapids. She's one of the people that helped save our hockey program in the 1990s. She's been a long-term member of our foundation board. She's been an extraordinary trustee. She's a person who in everything she does has always put Ferris State University first. And she's someone that I'm deeply grateful and that I will very much miss. Would you join me in recognizing Trustee Waltz? It's a true honor to stand before you, the class of 2014. Today is a wonderful opportunity for you to reflect on your accomplishments here at Ferris State University. At such a time, you need to know that your success is built upon the collective efforts of so many people who care about you and who take great pride in your growth and development. I want to pause for a moment so we can express our thanks to them. I begin with our faculty, who have served as your teachers, advisors, guides, and mentors. We are truly fortunate to have a faculty who are dedicated to teaching and who care deeply about students. I would ask that our faculty rise so we can express our thanks to them. Faculty? I also want to thank our staff who each contribute in their way for you, our students. In doing so, I'd note their many contributions to our ceremony, the beautiful decorations here today, and the commencement program, which provides information on our university, its programs, and today's ceremony. Now to the special guests with us today. First, I want to recognize your parents. They have planned and sacrificed to help you reach this pinnacle of achievement. Parents, please stand and be recognized. I'd be willing to bet that there are also proud grandparents here. Would our grandparents please stand? For some graduates, there are spouses or significant others who have stood by them in both good and tough times and have supported you working for this day. Would you please stand? Graduates, some of you also have children who've had to share their mom or their dad with books, studying, and homework assignments. I'd ask the children of our graduates to stand. Finally, we have so many friends and other relatives of our graduates here today. Please stand so we can thank you for being here to celebrate with us. Graduates, in a few moments you'll be crossing this stage. Two helpful reminders. As you celebrate this achievement, take some time to thank those who have worked, helped, and supported you. Their sacrifice and love have helped create this moment for you. Second, a practical but useful reminder. We're going to take your picture as you receive your degree. Don't forget to pause as I shake your hand and smile. There's something truly magical about what we witness here today. In the daily experience of college, we don't often have the opportunity to step back and see what our students have become during the course of their studies. Today provides that opportunity when we can pause, reflect, and celebrate the truly life-changing difference education can make. Education is about knowledge, and about people, and about life. Education is a calling, something that must be experienced to be appreciated. It's also the story of personal achievement and how talent, hard work, dedication, and sacrifice can create remarkable opportunities and overcome formidable challenges. Each of our graduates today has a story, a special story. I wish that I could tell you each one, as each is meaningful. However, I'd like to share just one very special story with you. This graduate started volunteering at the age of 7 in a local nursing home where her mother was employed as a nurse's aide. Unlike most children her age, she began to see aging and dying as a natural part of life. She says that the greatest reward is knowing that you take the maximum amount of care to make a person physically comfortable and provided for, both emotionally and spiritually, in their final days. She volunteered for nearly 10 years and accumulated more than 2,000 hours of service. At 8 years of age, she befriended a woman who was in her early 80s. One day, the woman told our graduate that a man was being mean and rough to her. That same day, she reported the abuse. Thanks to her report, as well as others, the nursing home was charged with abuse and neglect, fined several $1,000s, and eventually resumed operations under new management. These are actions that would be difficult for an adult to undertake, to say nothing of a young child. The student eventually followed her passion for caregiving, but attending college was not the norm in her family. In fact, today she becomes the first person in her family to earn a college degree, just as she was the first in her family to earn a high school degree. The hardest thing through this student's life has been worrying about having enough food, about having a place to live, about having a roof over her home, over her head, and her family's health. In her young life, she's witnessed drug busts, and several family members have been imprisoned or otherwise dealt with serious life issues. Without the expectation of earning a college degree, This student first went to vocational school to learn cosmetology, earned a business certificate, and afterwards worked for 2.5 years at a salon in Traverse City. She began to work on an associate degree and then moved to social work at our Northwest Michigan campus. I know from her story that the first night when she came to class here, when she looked around the room, she looked for students that she knew in the class, and she found a student that she knew and asked them if she could stay on her couch that night so she had a place to stay. At times, she slept on couches. She's lived in rented basements, hotel rooms. She showered at the University Rec Center, and she dined on pizza that was ordered for her by her partner who lived in Atlanta, Michigan, who called and ordered a pizza for her when he knew she had nothing to eat. Often her only means of staying in touch with her family and her partner was a tract phone that many times did not have any minutes to its credit. Despite this, she would take 19 to 20 credit hours a semester because, as she puts it, she was on a mission to earn a degree. Today, this student is graduating for a Bachelor of Social Work degree with plans to pursue an advanced degree in social work. She's the recipient of the Ashley Brooks Danso Memorial Fund Student Travel Scholarship that provided her travel expenses and registration to the Council of Social Work's annual meeting, where she was able to talk to 60 graduate programs about continued study. In his letter of support, Professor Michael Berghoff noted that this student took a study abroad course in El Salvador with the support of another scholarship. She was the only one of his students who volunteered for a gerontological academic service learning placement at a home for homeless elders in San Salvador. As he noted, she was a wonderful ambassador for our university, articulate and gracious. This graduate wants to stress that the importance of the journey which has brought her to this stage today is achieving social mobility and breaking the cycle of intergenerational poverty. Although she felt that sometimes it was a struggle simply to live, she nonetheless maintained a 4.0 grade point average and is looking towards master's and PhD coursework. Remember, this is the first person in her family to earn a high school diploma. She wants to thank everyone in her social work program, and I thank you, because if it hadn't been for your nurturing, I don't know what would have happened with this student. Thank you for what you did. She especially wants to recognize Professor Mike Berghoff. Joining her day today to celebrate her achievement is her partner of 5 years, Matt Keaton. I'm honored and humbled to present to you Charlotte Bouvier. Charlotte. Matt, would you also stand so we can recognize you, please? Graduates, on behalf of our university, I wish you great success, meaning, and fulfillment. As you received your diploma today, I encourage you to reflect upon the education you received and the many, many people who helped you arrive at this moment. As you set out on the next step of your life and career, you will face times when you face difficulties. During those times, think of the example of Charlie Bouvier, who followed her passion for serving others and changing the course of her family's history, despite challenges that could have discouraged her, but which did not deter her from completing the mission she set for herself. Congratulations and best wishes, class of 2014.
We now take pride in recognizing the graduates of the Ferris State University class of 2014. In the interest of time and maintaining the integrity of the ceremony, we ask that the families and friends of the graduates remain at their seats for the complete ceremony. The university has contracted with a professional photographer to take photos of each graduate. Following the ceremony, we invite the family and friends to take photos in front of the stage. For safety purposes, the platform will be closed. The academic deans will assist President Eisler and Provost Blake to confer the appropriate degrees and certificates on the Ferris State University class of 2014.
Will the candidates for the master's degree in the College of Education and Human Services please rise? Will their families please rise? Dean Steve Reifert will present the candidates.
On behalf of the College of Education and Human Services, I am honored and privileged to present to you these candidates for the degree of Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Master of Science in Career Technical Education, and in Criminal Justice Administration. They are hereby certified by the faculty for their degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon each of you the master's degree with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities therein. Congratulations, master's graduates, College of Education and Human Services.
Family members may be seated. Graduates, please come forward as directed by ushers. Eric Clayton Spees. Kristen Joy Rowan. Irene Marie Wilson. Samantha Lynn Seberg. Bridget M. Ardis. Colleen M. Reamer. Sandra E. Hansen. Jeffrey Leroy Petalty. Hanan Abdelbaki. Inas Kadari. Abra Wasel Aktabi. Ladies and gentlemen, the master's graduates of the College of Education and Human Services.
Candidates for baccalaureate and associate degrees in the College of Education and Human Services, please rise. Will their families also rise? Dean Reifert will present the candidates.
On behalf of the College of Education and Human Services, I am honored and privileged to present these candidates for the Bachelor of Applied Science, Bachelor of Science, Associate in Applied Science, and Associate in Arts degrees. They are hereby certified by the faculty for their degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the bachelor and associate degrees with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities therein. Congratulations, graduates, College of Education and Human Services.
Families may be seated. Graduates may be seated except for the first row. Please come forward as directed by ushers. Courtney Christina Belts. Bethany Jean Hansen. Riley Victoria Wood. Mary Kathleen Cater. Lynn Marie Scholl. Jennifer Lynn Gould. Jennifer Ann McKim. Michelle Lee Misch. Kyle W. Panic. Anthony Lee Brock, Jr. Dominique S. Brookins. Leland D. Nickerson. Zachary Jordan Lusinski. Chelsea Lee Sprague. Shannon Maria Mellinger. Samantha Joe Lesniak. Christopher Aaron Marston. Thomas Joseph Garby, Jr. Hannah Grace Slaw. Pashko Vasil Jello. Matthew Kimsey Green. Jessica Ann McGowan. Cheryl Luann Pishaw. Jeremiah Lynn Schilling. Michael Ruth Barnhill. Latima S. Moore. Stephanie Lynn Combs. Tyler Sean McKegg. Caprice Lumpkin. Daniel Edward Barnett. Teresa Anne Marie Glowicki. Christopher Michael Patrick Kustraw. Joanne D. Rembert. Rachel Louise Malmquist. Sharitha Deshelle Carter. Mindy Ruth Reeve. Tamisha Rena Stewart. Mary Denise Sims. Myra Marie Shaw. Rachel Ann Ottman. Chantal Wisenin. Samantha Lee Braun. Nicole Renee Nemechek. Nathan J. Dwayne Kovach. Brittany Michelle Venata. April Lynn Jackson. Amy M. Stone. Allison Marie Witucky. Brittany D. Campbell. Charnel Renee Raniszewski. Yasmin Medea Williams. Aaliyah Marie Martinez. Jennifer Lynn Miller. Daniel John Noonfeld. Tasha Sue Lewis. Michael Saul Padilla. Justin Paul Harding. Christine Rosemarie Dance. Bailey Elizabeth Both. Jenny R. Howard. Kristen Dunn. Daniel Patrick Mooney. Shanice Nicole Brown. Christian Shea Voss. Britt Nora F. Gauthier. Kirsten Nicole Olivo Todd. Nicholas Lee Patterson. Nicholas Paul Najar. Adam Kavanaugh Smith. Jeremiah James Saitaki. Stacy Marie Miller. Tara Jo Palmer. James Francis Lund. Melissa Ray Bramble. Abigail Rose Brown. Jessica Nicole Carranza. Antoinette Candida Lockett. Juwan Ramoni Kenny. Nicholas George Giannakakis. Cody Uriah Boomgard. Alexandra Michelle Height. Jessica Sue Sturkin. Yen Kim Vo. Jason Andrew Everett. Tyler Herbert Cassidy. Christopher Donald Schlaud. Courtney Ray Breen. Chad Ryan Alberg. Amanda M. Daly. Mario Nicholas Jimenez. Jana Kurbagovich. Melissa M. Newton. Christina Marie Cox. Jillian E. Brenneman. Doreen Marie Chambers. Maggie Elizabeth Westlock. Sydney Michelle Bayless. Melvin Edward Daines Jr. Megan Michelle Carrington. Brian Carter Williams. Seth Michael Nykamp. Yolanda Renee Wooding. Brittany Kimberly Thompson. Okay. Thomas Joseph Gulliford. Stephanie Williams. Stacy Sherry Flores. Caitlin Elizabeth Rapp. Rafe Michael Bowman. Alfred Samuel Compton III. Jessica Ann Garza. Richard Friesmuth. Kyle Jordan Fox. Glenn Warren Spalding. Kevin Elfrey. Travis Jamie Lemo. Marsha P. Baxter. Kelly Arnez Evans. Tracy Michelle Fountain. Vanette V. Jackson. Scott Lewis Piper II. Elizabeth Ann Dowdell. Joshua John Gordon. Latasha O. Riley. Tianne Marie Morgan. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of the College of Education and Human Services.
Will the candidates for baccalaureate and associate degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences please rise? Will their families also rise? Dean Rick S. Kurtz will present the candidates.
On behalf of the College of Arts and Sciences, I am honored and privileged to present these candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Integrative Studies, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Social Work, Associate in Applied Science, Associate in Arts, and Associate in Science. They are hereby certified by the faculty for their degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you bachelor and associate degrees with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities therein. Congratulations, graduates, College of Arts and Sciences.
Family members may be seated. Graduates may be seated, except for the first row. Please come forward as directed by the ushers. Kimberly Sue Erickson. Sherry Sue Hayes. Shayna Brooke Bisegal. Deborah R. DeWent. Sarah Lynn Colts. Samantha Michelle Simmons. Sierra Marie Strudwick. Andrew John Jennings. Erica Elizabeth Fite. Matthew Wayne Musa. Jared Allen Bloomquist. Shinik Choi. Khadijah Adam. Trevor Maurice Houle. Michael S. Marshall, Jr. Brandon Michael Portenga. Christina Marie Randall. Jonathan Hunter Hartley. Adrian James McEwen. Jennifer L. Webster. Jacob Henry Van Boxel. Mariah Alina Moore. Christy Lynn Penny. Morgan Elizabeth Byron. Ashley Nicole Goodman. Jessica Rose Heidema. Ashley Marie Miller. Kelly Jo Wyckoff. Kylie Lynn Smith. Amina Mignon McGee. Emma Leah Hines. Andrew John Wolmer. Courtney Jean Timmerman. Kurt Jeffrey Melville. Alyssa Bethany Scribner. Brady Derek Stockwell. Laniqua Leona Lewis. Elise Delea Kimbrough. Lauren Lee Wolf. Stacy Veronica Zagurni. Maria de Los Angeles Hernandez. Tegan Lynn Schultz. Allison Starr Frederick. Christina A. Schneit. William Michael Stinston Beamish. Charlie Ann Buva. Megan Marie Lang. Tanya J. Carter. Tanya Marie Alverson. Sarah Margaret McLaughlin. Ashley Christina Mitchell. Wendy Bevan. Patrick Ryan Carr. Jacob Michael Smith. Callie Marie O'Hagan. Amanda Catherine Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of the College of Arts and Sciences.
Will the candidates for baccalaureate and associate degrees in the College of Engineering Technology please rise? Will their families also rise? May I present Dean Larry Schultz.
On behalf of the College of Engineering Technology, I am honored and privileged to present to you these candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Applied Science, Bachelor of Science, and Associate in Applied Science. They are hereby certified by their faculty for their degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you Bachelor and Associate's degrees as they apply to you individually, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities therein. Congratulations, graduates, College of Engineering Technology.
Families may be seated. Graduates may be seated except for the first row. Please come forward as directed by the ushers. Bradley Robert Fouch. Ian Jeffrey Howe. Corey M. McCarty. Austin Robert Cantola. Talon Demetrius Emmanuel Page. John B. Wakowiak. Bryce Andrew Buckland. Andrew Allen Brummel. Zachary Stephen Prawl. Jonathan E. Davidson. Nam Kim. Amitav Kishore Singha. Suman C. Bott. Rebecca Marie Medina. Jim Din Vaughn. Christopher David Higginbotham. Joshua James Starr. Thomas Nathan Toporek. Austin Gerald Papation. Zachary Scott Van Dyke. Brett C. Strokerich. Mason James Friend. Gerald Michael Hine. Larry Darnell Littleton. Amy Jo Hertel. Ahmed M. Aljoithan. Nicholas James Caston. Braun Edward Bastian. James Wade Keller. Jason Lewis Rogers. Logan F. Furman. Colton Andrew Rossman. Donovan A. Thompson. Alexander Lee Fay. Shannon Claire Davey. Andrea Renee Mitrink. James Patrick Whitwam. Jesse James Hiddle. Austin Derek Zarecki. Kyle Elijah Johnson. Ethan John Brower. Seto Ntuke. Joshua William Batkins. Andrew James Harper. Kyle Anthony Jones. Nicholas Paul Byrne. Aaron Michael Van Tatenhove. Andrew Fisher Cavarilla. Mallory Joy Brugel. Dakota Allen Laslet. Ian Avey. Nathan Dale Alexander. Garvin Drew Puckett. Julianne C. Berta. Ahmad A. Sruji. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of the College of Engineering Technology.
Will all of our graduates please stand? Graduates? There's a long-standing tradition at commencement ceremonies in which the graduates move their tassels from the right side to the left side of their caps. As a symbol of your accomplishment, I invite all graduates of the class of 2014 to flip their tassels at this time. Congratulations and best wishes to each of you. Please be seated.
Jeremy Mishler, Director of Alumni Relations, will bring you greetings from the Ferris State Alumni Association.
It is now my great privilege to salute all of you for the first time as alumni of Ferris State University. From this day, you will face many new possibilities, probabilities, and challenges. We will now be depending on you to do your part to strengthen the economies of our world and to build our communities. And it is now, more than ever, that we will be counting on you to advocate to your family, neighbors, and colleagues the continuing opportunity of Ferris State. We are looking forward to your return to campus as our advisors, to be our guest speakers and to share with us your successes, so that your stories will inspire and support future generations that have the ability to fulfill their dreams here and to one day stand at your side. Celebrate this great day. We look forward to hearing from you soon. And remember, you are and always will be a Bulldog.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of Ferris Fidelity. You may join Rachel Schumann in singing our alma mater. The words are located in your program.
Constant as the northern star, our faith
Please remain standing for the formal closing of the commencement ceremony. Thank you for sharing this special day with us.